Karen Bonifilio, Inner Realms, Outer Journeys. I have somebody on again that you might recognize. Do you remember Jill Amy Sager? Yep. Jill, you want to say hi to everyone?
Yeah, hi, and thanks for having me, Karen. I appreciate it.
Oh, you are a pleasure. You certainly are.
Sweet.
Well, she is very gifted, and you saw that on the other video. And she has written a book, but she's also designed some cards, and they're called, can you see that? Messages from the Universe. So we're going to talk to her about her cards today. So Jill, I'm just going to let you take it away, and then I'll butt in when I need to.
Yeah, thanks. I think for many of us who are creative people, the ideas just keep on coming. And after I wrote the book, I just had this idea to put together cards with more of the information or the messages that I've received from the universe, because I couldn't put it all in the book, obviously. And every Monday for the last a long year, even before COVID, I can't even track how many years, I send out a free newsletter to everyone on my
Mhm.
email list. And in that newsletter, every Monday, guidance offers
Yep.
information. And I have books of what they've told me. And that's how this came about. I just thought I would put a
Wow.
few into the cards.
I got my message today too.
What did you get? Can you
It says, every moment on this earth is a moment to celebrate you. Yeah.
Some of these, I have to say, some of these are pretty simple or basic, but good reminders. Like this one, I pulled one today too. It says, gratitude opens doors to an abundant life.
That is perfect.
Just
Per-
feels good.
yeah, feels really good.
Feels good.
Well, I just know I've been, ever since you sent me the deck, I've been pulling a card every day. I do my tarot cards and I pull my card, and then I get my card from your newsletter too.
Ah,
So the Monday, yeah. So it's really nice.
thank you.
So, would it be correct to assume that all the messages that you got on your deck, they were downloaded to you from spirit, from your
Yeah,
heavenly team?
yeah, they were. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In the book, I had to edit a little bit. I didn't change the messages they gave me in the book, but some of it was so esoteric. It still is. I mean, I even say in my book, in the introduction of how to use the book, that the way
Uh-huh.
they speak to me isn't always in perfect English, you know, and certainly,
Really?
yeah, and certainly writing it down grammatically, there's no like punctuation and some of it's,
Oh, no,
so
no,
I
no.
did edit a little bit, of course, for the book, just so it would be a little clearer. Although like I said, I do state in the introduction that you might have to read it a few times. But these, yeah, some of these messages, like came in larger, uh, with like in a paragraph or something. And um,
Oh,
I just pulled, but I didn't edit these. I didn't have to. They were so good. Like
yeah,
this one,
very.
I love this one. You are the keeper of what is near and dear to your heart. Listen. And I think for me, when I read that message to me, and it might mean something different to somebody else. That's what I love
Mhm,
about these also. But for
mhm.
me, it speaks to intuition. It might not, that might not be true for somebody else. But when I pull this card, I'm like, right, my intuition for myself is usually right on for me if I pay
Yeah.
attention.
So you would personalize it for that person too. I just realized when I pull them, and I also took your cards to the beach when I went with my friend Tracy, and she was pulling a card too. And every card that we pulled was very appropriate for what happened that day or the message that we need to receive. Just like tarot cards, they were in tune to me and to her and what we needed to hear that day.
Yeah, I actually brought show and tell. Actually brought I had originally
I love show and tell.
show and tell. I originally did a like a beta test. And I very inexpensively, I'm showing you, very inexpensively, I had these originally done in a very inexpensive way, not color, just zero, just basically copied.
Okay.
And I have, and what I did to just see, because I'm totally what you said, Karen. I like using cards like this, like oracle cards or these cards, inspiration cards,
Hmm.
just intuitively by picking one and seeing what the message is for the day.
Hmm.
I mean, you can also, of course, use my cards, pick one that you need to use, but I like the intuitive, like you're saying, exactly. And so when I do metaphysical fairs or readings for people in person, even in my studio, I have these beta, these upside down. So all anyone sees is the back. And
Uh-huh.
I have, after a reading, I have them pick a card intuitively.
Oh,
And I did,
perfect.
yeah, and I did that to see whether these messages had meaning, whether uh, they would add to a reading, they would add in terms of whatever somebody was thinking about that day. And sure enough, like you said, they did. And that's when I decided to go ahead and do a better version and sell them perhaps to people who wanted to have them. I always allow.
Well, these are beautiful.
Thank you
These
so much.
are.
Thank
See
you.
the little hearts and everything? They're just really nicely done.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
all have different. This one, if you can see, has a different kind of heart. They all have. Yeah, I worked with a great graphic person, and she said, "Well,
Mhm.
how do you want them to look?" And quite frankly, of course, I did research. I have oracle cards. I have cards like this from Hay, Louis Hay, and many other people. And
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
right, I mean, and they're beautiful. There's a lot of beautiful artwork on them. I just felt like hearts, man, because for me, it's all about love. I mean, what I bring in is love. That's it. So why not hearts? I kept it pretty simple. So,
No, I think that's perfect.
oh, good, thanks. Yeah, thank you.
And I'm always saying that love is the answer, and it sounds so trite, but it's true. It
Yeah,
all boils down to love.
I like what you
Yeah.
said, Karen. I think I agree with you. Sometimes I also, when I say it, it feels trite. I mean, what is love? And but I mean, still, what is it? What does love? What does it mean to us? And I really always get back to this idea about loving myself. I mean,
Oh, I know.
right? Like when I
Mhm.
think about love, one of the first things I think about is how I have to love myself so I can love others, which is not an original idea. This is something we know.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And I think it's much easier for me to say it than to live it. But
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, we get those human emotions, that get in the way, you know, self-doubt or whatever it is. Yeah, they sneak in every once in a while.
oh, totally, totally. I did a podcast yesterday, and at the end, he asked me three questions he always asks everybody who he
Hmm.
interviews. And one of them was, what do you want to say about yourself or something like that? I can't exactly remember, but it was something like that. And I
Ah,
said that I'm human and I'm trying my best, that kind of thing. I mean, it's what you're saying. Emotions get in the way. And so a reminder to love myself is kind of maybe the best message really that I can offer.
um, I was just thinking about the guy's three questions. I'm curious about his other two, but that's kind of cool. So, how would you suggest people incorporate this into their lives? What do you think how they should use those cards?
That's a great question. I expect them to be used the way I use Oracle cards when I'm feeling a little bit like, I don't know, maybe lost or feeling like I need an extra boost to my day. I need some kind of sense that I'm okay, everything's okay. I might be feeling down. I know I use oracle cards when I feel that I am just swimming, whether it's I'm too much in my head,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or I feel ungrounded in some way because maybe, you and I just spoke about self love. There are many days I don't feel that. Many days I'm hard on myself. So that's when I also
Stop that. You're a beautiful person. Don't be hard on yourself.
think, I know you'd think at 68 I would have gotten over it already, but man, that's a lifelong lesson for me. And so
Hey, you're going to get that lesson again.
I know it's the gift. It's the gift that keeps on
Keeps
giving,
on giving. Yeah.
on giving. So that's when I pull a card, and it really just does give me a boost. And I'm hoping people can find that with these cards too.
You know, I'm gonna tie in, oopsie, the message that I got today
Mm.
to what happened to me.
Oh,
So, and because it's really appropriate. So this morning, um, my sockets went out in my 2 bathrooms, so I can't plug anything in.
mm,
So I'm running around throwing circuit breakers, doing all the stuff, trying to reset it and everything. Doesn't work. And then I had pulled tarot cards, and I got some tarot cards that I didn't really like. Uh, a lot of swords
uh-huh.
and 3 of hearts and all this.
Okay.
So I knew that there was going to be something coming up during my day. So, and it did this morning.
Mm,
And then, but then your card,
mm,
every moment on this earth is a moment to celebrate you.
mm,
And how I did that is I enlisted help to try to get people to, oh my gosh, I'm going to talk to Jill and my computer's not working because everything, once you throw your circuits, it messes everything up. So it was a very appropriate message for me today.
I
You
love,
know,
yeah.
yeah, it
I
was
love
perfect.
that you shared that because maybe it's a little bit like what I was saying earlier, where when we pick a card, whether it's from my deck or somebody else's, how we interpret it will help us, right? And you found in yourself, oh my gosh, if I am taking better care of myself, then I got to ask for help. This is what it's about. So I love that you shared that.
And
I
I got to
yeah,
tell you, that's my lesson. I don't like not being able to do a lot of things like
yourself.
that,
You mean,
like
yeah,
the technology.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't like to be at the mercy of somebody else. And I was just really lucky that my neighbor happened to be working from home today and he got me up and running. So, very appropriate message for me.
And you know what you're describing sometimes, I get that too when I'll pull a tarot card or an oracle card. It's sometimes the message has to do with a bigger issue for me that's not just in the moment. Like you just said, you don't want to
Right.
be. And I had that same experience. I was at a metaphysical fair 2 weeks ago,
Hmm.
and I was sitting there. I'm not going to go into the whole long story,
Hmm.
but I will sidebar. I did write about it on my Substack, which you don't have to subscribe to Substack, and it's an article that explains all this in detail. But the point is, I pulled in because I was in a really downward spiral with some of my old issues. It wasn't a new thing; it was something I recognized. I was pulling in from
Oh,
childhood, and which resurfaces time and time again. And every time it does, and I deal with it, it kind of raises the bar, which is good. I get over another hump or another part of it, as
that's
we all,
really good.
right? We all know. But
Hmm.
anyway, my point is, I pulled an oracle card, I pulled tarot, and the messages, like you're saying, were so right on, and
Hmm.
it just changed everything. I got the
Yeah.
support I needed, I got the information I needed, I got the inspiration I needed. It's
Isn't
like
that crazy? Our team kind of knows what's coming up and kind of prepares us for that. Yeah. And
believe.
I did not like my reading, to tell you. Yeah, I didn't. I thought, oh, what's going to happen to me today?
I know
You
that's
know,
I know. I hate that too. And it always kind of catches me and I'm like, "Oh yeah, let's see.
I wonder what it's going to be.
Yeah, what's going on?"
Okay. So, Tell me how you received the messages. Were they thoughts that were downloaded into you, or did they just come out of the blue? I mean, how did you receive those messages?
Well, in general, I receive messages with literal words. I always feel like it comes in from this side, and I get them through literal, like words, sentences. I also get feelings. I get images. But for the
Oh,
all of it. But for the
yeah.
cards and for the book, what's in the book, the messages in the book, and the cards, I wrote. I mean, I was hearing words, but I actually wrote them down.
Started writing it down when
Which
that
I do
happened.
on my Monday. When you get my emails on Monday, that's what I'm doing too. And I don't always do that. A lot of times when it's just for me, I'll just hear what they have to say and I don't write. But for my Monday things, which a lot of these cards came from that,
Mm-hmm.
these, and also from the messages in my book came from those Mondays that I needed to get information. And then just
Mm-hmm.
in general, when I ask. So I have journals where it's kind of, I guess people call it automatic writing or something. You know, you're just,
Right, that's what it is. Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah.
And I have heard from other psychics that that's a wonderful way just to sit there with a pen and paper and just wait for the messages and just write down what comes to you.
Yeah, that's how it started for me. Not the channeling. I was kind of doing that already, but at some point I had seen a friend of mine was
Mm-hmm.
the only way she got information from the universe was writing, what automatic writing. It's the only way. And I saw that that was possible. And I started to do that. Like you said, I just sat and I just was like, okay, I'm listening. And I started to get information and wrote, and my handwriting is completely,
Terrible.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
terrible.
you have to keep up with the message that's coming to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No punctuation.
Oh, I'm sure glad you punctuated in your book, because as a teacher, that would have driven me crazy.
Right.
um, so how was creating this deck of cards? How has that affected your personal growth and your journey? Because it is about you too. It's not just to give and to help, but it's also about you.
Gosh, Karen, you ask the best questions. Very
Do
thought
I?
provoking. Yeah, you do. Very thought provoking. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great, good interview.
Well,
I've been
thank
doing a
you.
lot of podcasts, and you're a great interviewer. Really, that's a great.
Seriously?
Seriously, that's a great
Oh,
question.
thank
Not
you.
just I'm not just saying that, and she didn't pay me to say it. I'm just saying
No, I didn't. I didn't pay her, but I should.
it was a great question because it was. I mean, in general, my umbrella, it's really hard for me to put myself out there. And I know
Oh my
um,
gosh.
maybe that's something that people wouldn't expect of me because don't appear, I don't appear shy, and I certainly don't
Nope.
appear um, like I have challenges talking. I've always been a talker. But I grew up with a physical disability as a kid in the
Mhm.
60s and 70s. These stories are in my book. And I grew up at a time when also my parents weren't really there emotionally for me to support all the bullying and all of the difficulties I had being a visible, physically disabled kid in and out of hospitals. And my point is
Mhm.
that underneath all of my charisma, I am somebody who is afraid of being judged and afraid of being seen. And putting myself out there and answering,
Wow.
and it's heavy still at 68. So I battle my suffering, internal suffering, or my internal battle is this constant desire to be who I truly am in the world, which is
Mhm.
somebody with kind of big personality. Let's face it, I can't hide that. But at the
Mhm.
same time, somebody who is really, really, I'm going to get teary eyed, afraid to be seen, afraid of that big personality, not in me, but of being able to say, this is who I am truly. It's almost like I'm still dealing with all of that pain from childhood.
From childhood.
It's
Yeah.
so deep. And that's something that these cards and the book over the last 2 years has challenged me with. When I wrote the book, it wasn't until I knew it was going to get published and then distributed that it dawned on me that I was putting myself out in the world in a way.
And you were going to be out in the world talking about your book and doing the book signings and that. So complete turnaround for you.
And so it
Mhm.
has challenged me, the cards too, putting them out there, telling people I have them. This is a part of who I am. It's not just something I do, right? This is a part of me. So
Now,
it,
can people buy these now?
yeah, I mean, I'm selling them for, 1995. There are 36 cards in
Hmm.
every deck. And yeah,
Hmm.
I'm selling them. I haven't, I mean, unfortunately, right now, postage is so expensive.
Oh gosh. Oh
So
my gosh.
I
And
know,
they're lightweight too, so it shouldn't cost that
and
much.
it's still probably going to be $5. So, I do have to charge people for postage and handling, and I can only sell them right now in the US. I'm not going to sell them abroad. But yeah, if people want to contact me, I'm definitely happy to ship them out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're really nice. They're beautiful. I really like them.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. And I sell them at metaphysical fairs and when I do book
Mhm.
talks and that kind of thing, author events, I have them for sale.
Are you coming back in this area?
I'm going to be in Portland at a bookstore in June, and I will. It's on my website, and I'm excited about it. Yeah, I'll be up there doing a book event, an author event in Portland.
Do you offhand know where it is?
Yes, it's called. Oh gosh, I feel bad because I really really don't want to mess up the name of the coffee shop, but I think it's Bold.
Oh my God, I know exactly. Yes, I have my book there.
Oh, what's it called? Coffee.
Bold coffee something. Yeah.
See, oh, I feel terrible. Okay, but it's on my website. Go to JillAmySager.com. There,
Okay, that is in Goose Hollow.
I'll be there.
That's in Goose Hollow. Okay, cool.
Be there.
June what? I'm gonna stop by and see you. What
Oh, I
date?
would love it if you did. Let's see. Let's see. Where is it going to be? I'm going to be there. Oh, June 13th.
June 13th. And the
7 to
time?
6. I'll be there June 13th. That's a Friday night, I believe.
Oh, Friday night.
From 7 to 8:30.
Okay.
And they're on Jefferson, 1755 Southwest Jefferson Street in Portland.
Yes. Parking sketchy, so you're gonna have to kind of figure that out too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward.
Yeah. In fact, I know the owner of the shop,
Oh,
and it has to do with my first book that I wrote.
oh,
So
nice. Lovely.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
They have an open mic. You should have a nice showing there too.
Oh, nice. Great. Oh,
And one
I
thing,
know some people in Portland. I'll put the word out and hopefully
yes,
we'll crowd.
and they are I like the flavor of everything. It's very accepting of all lifestyles.
Yeah, I was impressed. I mean,
Yeah.
I was impressed with them as a bookstore, really open, really, as you said, really supportive of diversity, no judgment
Yes.
there. And I'll
Is your book
probably, I just was thinking today, someone gave me this idea and I think I'll do it. I think when we get started, I think I'll do a tarot reading for the group. I think that would be really fun.
very cool? And bring your cards
I'll put
too.
my cards, yeah. Thank you.
Oh gosh, Amy, Jill, that'll be so cool. I really like that. Okay, did you have any challenges while you were doing the creation of your cards during the process?
A lot.
Really?
I had the idea a long time before, and I had all the text. And the challenge was the art. What do I do about the art, and how do I get it produced? And I think that
Oh,
is
that's
also,
true.
I think that's a really good question, Karen, and I'll tell you why. I think that in general, and now I'm generalizing about most of us humans, but I think a lot of us, including myself, want to have it all figured out before we jump into a creative process. And I think,
I understand.
yeah, and I think
Mhm.
sometimes for myself, one thing I've learned is if the idea sticks, I've had many ideas in my life, and they don't always stick, and they get thrown away. I once thought I
Mhm.
was going to write a cookbook. Well, that idea is never going to happen, and I'm done. I'm over it. Not interested any longer. But these cards, for years, I thought about doing this as I was writing the book, and it was just an idea that wouldn't go away, wouldn't go away. And so
Mhm.
I finally sat down and wrote down the text I wanted on the cards, and that was the beginning. But I had no idea how to produce them, how to get them printed, who would be the artist. And I have to tell you, there's a story in my book about it. And I thought many years ago that I had found an artist. It wasn't the right person. And that was, it took years for me. Maybe I'm slow to finally pull it together and produce it and
Mhm.
make it happen. But if there's one thing, I know I'm going on about this, but if there's one thing that I've learned for myself,
Mhm.
that the right people show up, that if I'm patient, right? We
Mhm.
know this. If I'm patient, the right time will show up.
Mhm. And it took you a while to think about it too, so everything has its own timing.
Yeah. And haven't you also kind of had that experience where you might have a timeline for yourself and it doesn't work out and then the right time
Yes.
happens? I mean,
Mhm.
yeah,
Everything falls into place.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
with trust, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. I wanna revisit just a moment, about people being judgy and being judgmental and all that. And I think, you and I are close age. I'm, 1 year older than you. But you know what? One, that's on them to be judgy about anybody or about you. And, people are gonna judge you no matter what.
It's true.
Whether you do or you don't, they gonna judge you anyway, so.
Well, that's true. We all have that judgmental side. And I learned a lesson. It's actually another chapter in my book about judgment. I learned a really harsh lesson about how I was judging people. And then it was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like I judge people and I don't want to be judged. I mean, I know that sounds so obvious, but it really was like a major eye opener. It
Do
really
you
was.
have your book handy right there to
Yeah,
show?
actually,
Yeah, because mine's on the shelf, and I don't wanna go over there to get it.
thank you. Yeah, I can show it.
Guidance from the Universe. How did you get that graphic? Every time I look at it, I wonder about the graphic.
Well, the publisher, She Writes Press, they work with artists. They came up with 5 designs, and I got to pick this one. And I have to say, this book has only been out since January, and
Mhm,
it won Best Cover with Bedside Reading. I do
mhm,
love it because I mean, this is the feedback I'm getting. Um, my stories are very relatable, so it's very based in the earth. And yet, this little pullback I don't know if you can really see it, but this little pullback of paper, the universe.
yeah,
So
mhm.
I think it really speaks to, I picked it because I love the cover, but as the reviews are coming in, this cover is really says it that people are finding the book is down to earth as well as metaphysical in both ways, which is what the cover really, I think, shows.
I just think it's so interesting how spirit works through us.
Yeah, you can't make this up. I was
No,
going
you
to
can't.
curse. You can't make it up.
And you had 5 choices, and you chose the one that was gonna be perfectly representative of your book. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
Jill, is there anything else that you want to talk about with your cards? I'm kind of looking at my questions to see because a lot of things you have already covered. Yeah. Oh, do you plan on creating any other little things in the works that we don't know about?
Well, I'm actually writing right now something I thought I would never do. I'm
A
writing
cookbook.
a book that has to do with tarot. And the reason I'm
Oh.
saying I thought I'd never do it is because there are a lot of books out there about tarot and how to work with tarot. But I have a kind of, I'm going to say it, I don't know if it's a unique approach, but just about the majors, just the major
Oh,
cards,
just the major arcanas?
just the
Okay.
major arcana. That's all the book's going to be about. And it's about the story, the total story of the cards. And I am pulling that together now, and we'll
Oh,
see
good
what
for
happens.
you.
Yeah.
You got stuff to do, girl.
I'm busy.
Yeah, and you didn't want to be out there, and now you are out there,
I
and you're
know. See, I know this is my dilemma. I can't
Mhm,
stop. I've always been somebody who is a creative, I guess, and I work in
mhm,
that realm. And
mhm,
now I am having to sit with the discomfort and the comfort. These things are married, and that's okay. And I'm dealing with the pain, the grief from
mhm.
my childhood. And quite frankly, Karen, and I know you know this, and many of your listeners are going to know this, the healing process is so important. And at 68 years old, which I am, I
Mhm.
put this off for so long to heal that pain of being bullied as a kid. And to have the gift, and you said it earlier, that we get these things. We don't even know, they come into our life as gifts,
Yes.
the awareness. And so through the book and through these cards, and I am able now to heal what I've been storing in my body, in my emotions. So I'm grateful for it. And over the last, I have to say, few weeks in particular, because of some stuff that has come up related to the book in good ways, in positive
Okay.
ways,
Mhm.
I am now uh, teary eyed almost every day. And I've been sitting in meditation to really purge some of this old pain. So the healing is happening, and I'm hoping that in 2026, I can put the pain aside and just enjoy the accolades that the book's receiving, the reviews, the sitting at metaphysical fairs, sitting at author
Mhm.
events without this other piece, because taking in the joy is so important. And I don't want to spend the
Mhm.
rest of my
Mm.
life being somebody who pushes away people's gratitude toward this book. I
Oh,
mean,
no. Mm-mm.
why would I do that? It really is a disservice,
Mhm.
not just to the book itself and to myself, but to the people who are really grateful this book has come into the world.
Right.
That's what I'm hearing from people. I don't want to push that away. So anyway, there's a lot. There's a lot about this
The book and now your cards too,
in the cards.
and your forthcoming book
That's
also.
right.
Yeah.
I'm a glutton for punishment. I'll tell you.
Well, I just find our paths are different, but our paths that we are experiencing now is nothing we ever imagined.
Yeah, right.
Not in the wildest imagination. Yeah.
But when you think back, because we are in our, last third of our life, when you look back though, do you, even though I agree with you 100%, I never thought I'd be where I am today. But
Mhm.
when you look back, do you see a thread that got you here? Or do you see it's just like, wow, that was like left field. This is like left field, whether it's your personality or just what you did to get here.
I don't see a thread. I just know that experiencing all the death that I did, that catapulted me into this new road that I'm traveling. I don't know. I just wanted to grow old and have gray hair and live on a few acres of land and bake cookies with my husband. And I'm not going to get that. And, but gosh, now I'm going to cry. But, I know that with his loss, even our love is even stronger now that he's gone. If and you're thinking, well, how can that be? He's dead. Well, he's not dead, and he still comes to me and is a part of me. And going through my journey has strengthened all those bonds that my parents had and that what I had. But no, I don't. I never thought this would happen. I just didn't. But you know what? Back in the 80s, somebody told me, well, you better get writing your book. And I thought, okay, what am I going to write about? Being divorced twice and men you shouldn't marry? I mean, what book? Now I know.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
crazy. Okay, this isn't about me. This is about you. Okay, Jill, is there anything else? I really don't think you have all these questions here. I got a whole bunch. I got 20. You
Wow.
answered them all. Yeah,
Wow.
you did.
Wow. Gosh. Well, okay, there you go. We're good to go. Well,
All
thank you
right.
for sharing, though. You said it's all about me, 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 but I love sharing, our experiences, and thank you for sharing your journey too, because we do have challenges in life, and it's how we get through them, and holding on to the memory of those who have passed. That you're right. That's what keep. I mean, this is what life is. It's
Mhm,
the love. We started by talking about love, and it's that memory of love and the reminder of love. And
mhm.
no matter who brought that to us, how can we live without that? You know, and loss is, loss. I mean, some
Woo.
guidance. Yeah, something guidance taught me about grief and about loss and about um,
Mhm.
especially. I mean, when it comes to people, I'm talking about who we have lost in our lives and who we have loved. I mean, the other side of all of that grief is we wouldn't feel all that if we didn't love. That's that's that old, right? I mean, I don't know. It's so bittersweet, and that's life,
Mhm,
isn't it? I mean, it's like the good with the bad, the sweet with the bitter.
mhm.
I just celebrated Passover. I'm Jewish by birth. I'm not religious, but culturally, I love our traditions. And that's what Passover is. It just happened. A reminder that life is this is the marriage. And it's what I was saying
It
earlier,
is.
even about my own struggle, personal struggle. I'm not turning away from the pain I'm experiencing from childhood now that's being brought up by the cards and the book and putting myself out there. I can live with the joy and the pain. And yes, I know that over time, if I do that, the joy will get maybe bigger and the pain
Yes.
less, because grief, right? We know this lessens with time when we are able to embrace it. And I imagine that will be true for me too.
I found with myself, yes, very much so. And I found with grief to not suppress it,
Right.
to not hold it back, because it will come back to you tenfold if you ignore that beast. Yeah. And so, no, I
Yeah,
embrace my grief,
that's
if
right.
that makes sense. I
Totally.
just, if it came, I let it come.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a chapter in my book on grief. I talk about that. And guidance, the universe did say, holding on to it is actually, and I think this is, not rocket science, but it's physically toxic to
It,
suppress.
it is. It is. Well, I just finished A Year to Live, um, a book that somebody had written, like living a year like it's your last year of life, which has freed me up now to read your book.
Oh,
So now I can hardly wait, because you've given me so many teasers today that I just want to go pick it up and start reading it.
well, I'm always open. This is for your people, anybody listening. I'm always open to honest reviews. So I'll be curious to know what you think. Thanks for having it. Thanks for being able to spend the time with it.
Okay, so the thing about it is, if people want reviews and I haven't had the best service or whatever, I don't write anything. So, but I'm sure your book will resonate with me. I don't think that's going to be a problem at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it available on Amazon also?
Yeah, it is available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Powell's Books. You can get it wherever books are sold. It's all over.
Can't you put this as a package deal? Maybe get both of them together or
That would
something?
be cool. I do that when I sell them myself.
Okay.
I sell the book and the cards at a much reduced price as a package, but I don't have any control over that with the distribution. Simon and Schuster's distributing the book, and so
Okay.
that's a whole other part of publishing that I don't have. Haven't been able to do that, but who knows? Maybe in the future that'll happen. But I do that. I do sell the book and the cards as a package deal. When
So
I
everybody that's in my area, come there on June 13th, and then you can get the package deal at a discount. Even better.
maybe that's right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, Jill, thank you for being on. Always a pleasure. And I will be happy to talk to you about your upcoming book.
Thanks, Karen. It's always a pleasure too. And I really appreciate you having me on again. Thanks so much.
Okay, you take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye. And stop.